What's going on, everybody? It's the Creative Fro checking back in for another episode of Fireside Tech. I hope you enjoyed your week and are ready to learn something new, because today I'm going to be showing you how frame rates can affect a video. So if you didn't see, we posted a video just this past Wednesday and you can check that out right now. Kind of just broke down how the frame rates work and stuff like that. So today we're just going to be using our camera. I'm going to take a couple shots and compare them side by side so you can see how the frame rates do affect the video. But before I dive into today's video, let me remind you real quick to hit the big red subscribe button if you have yet to already, and also turn that notification bell on just for fun. So we'll start with 24 frames, then we'll move to 30, and then we'll finish off with 60 and 120 frames too as well. Just a little quick pro tip before we get started. If you're ever out on a video shoot and you're not too sure what frame rate you should be using for that event, just throw it in 60 frames a second, and then when you go home, make sure your project is a 24 frame per second timeline, and then that way you could take the 60 frames and conform it down to 24 frames per second so it fits in that timeline. Let's get some practice shots, put them on the computer, and then we can analyze them while we're on the computer. I wanted to show you the difference between each frame rate here. On the left hand side I'll have all the slow motions, and the right I'll have the regular. It looks a little choppy. So that's the reason why you don't want to slow down 24 frames a second, because there's not that many frames to slow down, and that results in the choppy look. Now we'll move over to 30 frames. And you can see this is also a little choppy too as well. A little bit better than 24, but still not great. And now we're on to 60 frames. You can see much smoother. That looks really smooth. A lot better than the 24. And 120 is buttery smooth. Awesome. And there you could see the difference between each frame rate setting there. And on each of these clips, all I did was slow it down by half. So I slowed it down by 50%. And this is the effect I got for each of them. Out of these 4 frame rates, which would be the best option to choose? There's 2 that could be the possible correct answer. If you said 60 frames or 120 frames, you are correct, and that is what you want to choose if you're going to slow down any footage. Do not try to slow down 24 frames or 30 frames per second. Here's another example of how frame rates can affect a video. All I tried for each one to roll the ball the exact same way, so it would be even on each frame rate. So I think I did a pretty okay job on it. Here's all the shots. I'll run you through how they came out through camera, and then after that it will be in slow motion. Very choppy on this one here, and the same thing on 32 as well, pretty choppy. 60, a lot smoother. 120, really smooth. You can see the motion blur on these ones too, without the slow motion added. So you can just think of this as a car driving by too as well. You wouldn't want to be shooting a car in 24 frames a second. You want to go up anywhere from 60 to 120 or even higher if possible. Then that way you can slow it down. Unless you're going for a specific look, then you can play around with it, but that's up to you to make that decision. So now I just wanted to show you on the other end if we were to speed up the water pouring clips here. So they're going to play regularly, and then the next clips will be sped up. So here's 24 frames. 30 frames on this one here. $60 frames. $120 frames. Now this is the sped up 24 frames. 30 frames sped up. And as you can see, speeding up the clips don't really affect it too much. So no matter what, you can speed up any clips that were taped at any frame rate and it shouldn't affect the final image too much. Let me just show you one more thing before we jump off of the computer here. So like I said earlier, if you didn't know what frame rate to choose, just pick 60, and now in post-production what you can do is click this here and go up to the video tab and go to nearest neighbor, and that is going to conform the clip into a 24 frame per second timeline, and it smooth it out to make it look like as if it were shot in 24 frames. And there you have it. So let's jump back in front of the fire and close out this video. So that's going to conclude today's video. I hope everyone could see the difference between each different frame rate and how slowing it down, speeding it up, and how conforming the frame rate can change the look of it too as well. Please like the video if you did, comment down below if there's anything you want to see for Fireside Tech, and share this video if you think it could help somebody. I hope you enjoy this upcoming week and crush it. I can't wait to see you next Sunday in front of this fire again. It's the Creative Fro, and I'm out.